YouTube, Muramasa here from Muramasa Gaming, and I have a deck profile for you. As you can tell from the marker, it will be a Oracle Think Tank Protect, well, Protect in general, but it will be Oracle Think Tank, which will be a Magus build. So, as you can tell from our starter, we are running Lozenge Magus. Then, starting off with getting the triggers out of the way, we do run the 4 draw PGs. We run the 4 Psychic Birds, 4 Oracle Guardian Nike, and our 4 heal triggers. Sorry if I cough too much in this video, I am recovering from bronchitis right now. But on to our grade 1s, we run Tetra Magus, which has the skill of when placed, rearguard only. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, and reveal up to 1 critical trigger from your hand and place on the top of your deck. Next up, we run 3 copies of Ripple Magus. It's basically a 13k booster as long as you have a Magus Vanguard. That's basically all you're going to use it for. I have thought about running 4 copies of Ripple, or Rippus, but I currently don't have 4 copies. I'm waiting on my other copies to come in the mail. Next up, we run 3 copies of Crescent Magus, which has the skill that when it's placed in the trigger zone, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can Soul Blast 1 and Countercharge 1. Again, I'm only running 3 copies of this because it's just a test variant. I don't know if I want to run it or Gemini at this point. Lastly, for our grade 1s, we run 4 copies of Core Magus, which has the ability of Vanguard Rearguard. When it's placed, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck and rearrange them, which pairs really well when you ride it on top of Lozenge Magus. Look at the top 2 of your deck, and then you can draw a card. So, pretty good. Just getting those early combos off really early really helps the deck out a lot. Next up, we run 4 copies of Rectangle Magus, which both effects are rearguard only. So her first effect is when placed, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, rearrange them, and then draw 1 card. Her second ability is when you reveal a trigger on your drive check, she gets 5,000 power. Next up for our grade 2s, we run 4 copies of Rhombus Magus, which has the rearguard effect of when it attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Magus in its card name, until end of that battle, she gets 5,000 power, and your opponent cannot intercept. So, 14k, so you can make numbers, so it does help. Lastly, for our grade 2s, we run 3 copies of Stellar Magus, which has the continuous ability of when during the battle that it was boosted, she gets 2,000 power. And when an attack hits a Vanguard, you may put a card from your hand on the top of your deck. So it helps you stack triggers that you really need. Or to even psych out your opponent so they can throw out a lot more shield. Next up for our grade 3s, we run 4 copies of Hexagonal Magus, which basically has the exact same effect as Rectangle, but a little bit cheaper in cost. When placed on Vanguard, you may Counterblast 1, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, rearrange them, and then draw a card. And then Vanguard Rearguard, when the drive check reveals a trigger, this unit gets 5,000 power until end of turn. Now, lastly, for our deck, we have 4 copies of our main grade 3 and basically our win condition. Pentagonal Magus, which has the continuous Vanguard effect that all of your triggers are now giving 15,000 instead of just the basic 10. And when it attacks, you can Soul Blast 1 grade 3 and discard 5 cards from your hand. And then this unit gets Drive +3 until end of that battle. The cost is also reduced by 1 for each Magus rearguard you have in the front row. So, this is my Magus build for February of 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe of anything that you might think that I can improve on or change for this deck. This is basically a rough draft. But this is Muramasa from Muramasa Gaming, signing out.